Hello and welcome back. Friday Music, Random Vinyl number nine. Flanked by my dear wife, Karen, once again. Doesn't she look lovely? Gonna help me pick some records real quick here. It's getting late. Let's go. I don't know what she's doing, holding my eyes shut. Taking stuff out of the walls here. Ooh, this is a unique little album. Bee Gees, Life in a Tin Can. This was a mid-70s album. Didn't have any big hits on it in America, at least. It's one of their best albums, man. I mean, every song on this album is a home run. Saw a New Morning, I Don't Want to Be the One, Living in Chicago. I love side 2. While I Play's a great song. My Life Has Been a Song is probably my favorite song on the album. Come Home Johnny Bridie and Method to My Madness. Great cover. It's like a pinwheel. This turns around, but don't want to ruin the cover. It's probably a 50-year-old album at this point. But it was on RSO. Absolutely one of their greatest albums. I'd like to reissue this someday. I love this album. Next. The Brothers Gibb. Oh, okay. Band I used to work with during my MCA Motown days. This is the Four Tops. This is a mono edition of one of their biggest albums, Reach Out. Boy, this had a ton of hit singles on it. Turn to Stone, Seven Rooms of Gloom, Reach Out. How about the Monkees' Last Train to Clarksville's on here? If I Were a Carpenter was a hit. Walk Away Renee. This was just filled with hits. I remember seeing this as a little kid. You could never buy records because you had no money, right? But I remember seeing this on the inner sleeves of like an older Motown album I had, like maybe The Miracles or something cool like that. And I just remember just wishing, boy, someday I got to get this. And I did later in life, but the wonderful Motown label from the past. Great records. Unfortunately, we've lost all these guys. Lost Duke about a year or so ago, and that was the final original. But boy, did they make some great records. I met them several times, but I remember hanging out with them on the side of the stage at Live Aid. And I just kept telling them how great they were. like an obsessed goofball fan that I am. You guys are the best. I love everything you guys do. It's one of those, but I'm glad I got to say it. Anyway, next. From the Blue Note wall, we have Grant Green. This is it's called Green is Beautiful. Really cool album. Very funky album. Of course, it's got Ain't It Funky Now, James Brown and vibe to it. Day in the Life by the Beatles. It sounds nothing like the Wes Montgomery version. My favorite song on this album is Dracula, which is a really cool groove. The Windjammer's on here. I never got to see him play. He passed away pretty early on, early 70s. I always liked this label too, the late 60s Blue Note label, all blue. I love that. Anyway, Grant Green, Green is Beautiful. Next. The only American Canada release. Never came out overseas, I don't think. Animalism. My brother Frankie got this for me for my confirmation. That'd be like third grade, 1966 or something. Eric signed it for me back in the day in 82. One of the coolest guys in the world to me. I worked Animal's final tour, the ARC tour in 83, 84. Got to do a lot of hanging out. I knew him before that. I used to see him when he had the Eric Burdon band. I'll tell you a story. This young lady, I was trying to go out with her for the longest time. And she kept blowing me off. So I'm with Eric. We're at it's called the Wax Museum. It was in Washington, D.C. It was the final night of the American tour. We're hanging backstage. I was there with Chaz Chandler, Alan Price, all of them. Someday I'll share a picture. The original 5 and me. Right before they're going on the stage, I said, can I get a picture? So I'm talking to Eric briefly. He goes, what's the latest? He saw I was a little bummed out. And I said, there's this girl, she just won't go out with me. What's her name? I said, Karen. So he signs an album tour. Dear Karen, go out with Joe. He's a good guy, one of those. And he sends it to her. And I guess about 3 or 4 weeks later, she calls me. And did he actually call you and leave you a message?
He called you.
So, yeah. And we got married. like, 3 years later. So he was a matchmaker, this guy. He helped us out. But sweetheart of a guy. I saw him in Laguna Beach a couple years back. I hope to see him soon. Incredible guy. What a talent. I'd say one of the greatest belters of music of all time. Really strong album. Frank Zappa song starts it off all night long. Other Side of This Life by Freddie Neal's a great song. Going Down Slow, the blues standards on here. Going Down to Louisiana is great. My favorite song is Outcast. There are two versions of Outcast. I really like this version that's on this album versus the one that was on 45. This is a pivotal Animals album. And I think any Animals collector will tell you this is one of their strongest albums. That's Eric Burdon, The Animals, Animalism from 1966. Next. I don't know what she has. Oh, man. Doesn't get better than these guys. Talk more British blues. Just how about Savoy Brown? Oh, man, we lost Kim Simmons last year. He's such a great guy. I've known him a real long time. We've got Roger Earl from Foghat, who's on our label. We're doing some more Foghat albums soon, so stay tuned on that. Roger, Kim. This is Ross Sienna, which features the lead vocals of the recently departed Chris Yolden, who we lost this year. And one of the greatest songwriters, real down, dirty, gritty voice, great songs. This album had Needle and Spoon on it. Still a hard way to go. A little more wine. Just a great album, man. I just wish they were still around. It's hard. There's nothing like this anymore. I mean, Ross Sienna was, I think, like their fifth album. Nobody makes music like this anymore. Savoy Brown, Ross Sienna, one of the greatest rock and blues albums you can ever get your hands on. Next. And there we go. All right, glam rockers. How about Sweet, Desolation Boulevard? This is the American version. I've been trying to get the RCA English version for years, but this was the Capitol label back in 75, 74 era. We had Sweet on the label. I had a couple of their CDs when we first started Friday Music. What a great album. You got Sick Teens, you got obviously Ballroom Blitz, and my favorite of theirs, Fox on the Run. A huge album in its time, and it's still inspiring many bands out there. Sweet, Desolation Boulevard. I suggest you find a copy fast. Next. Ooh, okay. Are You Hip to Buzzy Linhart? Okay, this is his second album called Music, and it was on the Eleuthera label, which later became Kama Sutra, and it later became a double album with his first album. Serge signed that for me, who was also in his first band called the Seven Sons. He had a guy to hang out in Woodstock and Bearsville, and everyone knew him. Anyway, Serge was at my house once with Todd Rundgren, filming the Todd Rundgren video that later came out as the Ever Tortured Artist Effect video. He shot some treatments at my house, and Serge was in the camera, working cameras and behind the scenes, and I got him to sign my Buzzy Linhart album. I've never met Buzzy. I saw him a number of times as a kid, Tower Theater, places like that back in Philly. Great musician, great guitar player, great vibraphone player. He wrote a huge hit called Friends for Bette Midler. Everyone cut Friends, Barry Manilow. We lost him a couple years ago. One of the coolest dudes. I mean, the songs on this album, That's the Bag I'm In. My favorite song was Talk About a Morning, and that's what turned me on to this cat. I saw him open for the Byrds at the Tower in 1973, and it was the Byrds with Graham Parsons. It was called like a Byrds collective. It was some of the Flying Burritos, and it was some of the Byrds, Clarence White, and I got to see all these greats. And unfortunately, a couple weeks later, we lost Clarence White, and then not too long after that, we lost Graham Parsons. Music by Buzzy Linhart. It's a sensational album. It's jazz, it's rock, it's psychedelic rock, it's acid rock. I suggest you find a copy somewhere and listen to it, and it'll blow your mind. Anyway, I'd like to thank you tonight for watching another episode of Friday Music Random Vinyl. Anyway, have a great night, and you're the greatest.